All right, so let's talk about the other game at noon with Notre Dame and Iowa State. Notre Dame is a 3.5 point favorite over under 54. This game is in Orlando at Camping World Stadium. It looks like maybe a little bit of wind, but I don't think anything to note. One thing that I'll say here is whenever I see Matt Campbell as a dog, it catches my interest. He's 29-15 against the spread as a dog. That's the sixth most profitable coach in our database since 2005. That's among 527 coaches. Brian Kelly, although, has been great on the road or in neutral stadiums, neutral fields, I should say. He's 52, 35, and 3. That's about right about 60%, 16% ROI. When I look at this game, one of the first things that jumps out to me is, does the time off hurt Notre Dame? Because if you look at this game was played just, January, when was their last game? December 6th, about a month ago. Notre Dame was rolling, right? They trucked BC, they trucked Navy, they trucked Duke,
Stanford.
They trucked Stanford, which Stanford should have covered, but that's another story. So they were just rolling teams playing very well, whereas Iowa State, and look, Iowa State record is they're 7-5, kind of misleading. Now I think they went 1-5 against the spread against bowl teams this year, but they lost by 1 to Iowa, could have won that game. They lost by 2 to Baylor, could have won that game. So they were, they lost by 7 to Oak State. They lost by 1 to Oklahoma. They went for 2 to win that game. They were a couple points. But they did beat Texas by 2 in a game they probably should have lost. But in a lot of their losses, they could have one play here or there. This team's in the Big 12 championship, but they didn't end the season well. Starting with that Oklahoma game, they did lose by 1, but they were down 21 for most of the game. The Texas game, at home, Texas, if they just know how to kick field, like special teams, just dumb mistakes, Texas probably should have won that game. Then they have a horrible performance at home against Kansas, and they give up 31 points. Then they lose, as 4.5-point favorites at Kansas State, 27-17. So these two teams were just headed in different directions to end the year. So do I take anything from that, or do I say maybe the time off helped Iowa State and it kind of kills some of the Notre Dame momentum that they had going? I don't know. I think that you like the under here, which is also interesting to me. What do you say?
Yeah, I like the under for a lot of things that you talked about. I mean, Notre Dame's – first off, let's start with the Iowa State side. No matter if they struggle to stay in sync with Brock Purdy in the passing game, Notre Dame's secondary is excellent. They are one of the best in the nation at stopping passing success rate and explosiveness. They're top 20 in defensive passing success rate. They're 12th in stopping explosive pass, and that's going to be a problem for Brock Purdy. Iowa State has no run game whatsoever. Without David Montgomery, they've been just terrible running the ball this year. 109th in rush explosiveness, 80th in rushing success rate. It's just going to be Iowa State's good, which is the pass with Brock Purdy, versus Notre Dame's good on defense, which is the secondary. And for me, that I don't think that's going to create a whole bunch of points, especially considering Iowa State's offense is 52nd in finishing drives. Nothing special there. And you look at Notre Dame, I don't really know if they want to be here. They fired – so Brian Kelly fires Chip Long coming right off of a 10-2 season. He fires his offensive coordinator, who was a nominee for the Broyles Award last year and their college football playoff run. And he didn't, and Kelly didn't really have much comment about this game. He was just, I'm going to do what's best for Notre Dame. We didn't get it done. We need to get it done. I think he's specifically talking about Georgia, but fires his offensive coordinator, and he's going to split play calling, scheme, everything between the running backs and the quarterback coach, which a lot of people around the Notre Dame program think quarterback coach Tommy Rees, this is his chance to win the job as offensive coordinator. So we'll see what Notre Dame's got on the offensive side, but Brian Kelly has made it very clear. I have nothing to do with the offensive side of the ball in this game. I will not call the plays. I will pop in and advise, but in the planning, but I will not be calling the plays, and I will not be in control of what happens around Notre Dame on the offense. So that's another reason why I kind of like, I like the under on this game. And I know that the narrative around Notre Dame is that those teams we mentioned, Stanford, BC, Navy, Duke, combined margin, 107 points, they blew them out. So Notre Dame was the hot team. But you don't understand is Brian Kelly was trying to get Notre Dame up in the top 12 so that he could make the Cotton Bowl and get the at-large bid. Their goal was to make a New Year's Six game. Their goal was not to be in this bowl whatsoever. A trip to Orlando a year after making the college football playoff, this is not what they wanted whatsoever. And Brian Kelly has a history of stinking up bowls. Notre Dame didn't cover Rutgers in 2013. Cincinnati didn't cover Southern Miss in 2007. Only 2 college football programs Brian Kelly has covered in bowl season in his entire career. That's LSU and Miami. Everybody else, he has not covered against the spread in any bowl game ever. He gets up for the big games. He's an excellent coach when it means something and it matters. And he is just punted and it sounds like the way that he's treating the offense and his own staff that he's just punting on this game. And I don't want to get too far into how I don't think he wanted Ian Book as the quarterback. The Notre Dame, they have a 5-star, quarterback behind Ian Book that I think Brian Kelly has wanted to be the quarterback, for quite a long time. So I think there's a lot of things where Brian Kelly's just ready to turn the page and get to 2020. We mentioned Iowa State's had a lot of close losses. But Irish defense is, like we said, they're tops in the nation in stopping the pass. So I just don't see a lot of points for Notre Dame, and I don't see Iowa State able to overcome Notre Dame's secondary. So even though I projected at 59, just a small investment on the under 54.5. I think the side is correct. I've got it Notre Dame -4. So there's not really anything there for me either, but I would take Iowa State if I had to.